Appreciate it. It was January 22nd, 2018. I was getting in my car, and I was nervous, extremely nervous. I started driving down the mountain. I'd never really done this before, and I was going to pick up a friend of mine. When I finally got to their place, they got in the car, and as we were driving to this church, I had a different look, they said. I had a look of determination, a look of fear. And when we pulled up, it was this place that I'd never been before, this church I'd never been to before, and it was kind of hard to find our way like into the right place, because this isn't like a place that people go all the time. And we actually went into the wrong door at first. There was nobody in there. We came back out. We're walking around a little bit late. Finally walk in the door, and it's this old wooden floor, and it's like got this wooden creak to it. So we're walking in. There's some people sitting there. We pull up the chairs. They're just sitting there talking, and we sit down. As I sat there, I couldn't believe that I was sitting in this place. I'd never been in this room before. It was a room that I knew maybe I should have been in before. And as I listened to people talk, I felt a connection to them. I felt like I understood them. They would say something, and I would kind of, nod my head like this. Yeah, I felt that way. One person shared, another person shared, one more. Then all of a sudden, it was my turn. I never wanted to share. I never wanted to talk about this. I had everything under control. I knew what to do. I always had an answer. I'm Jonathan, and I'm an alcoholic. The words came out of my mouth. I couldn't believe that I'd said it. It was actually the first time that I'd ever said it in a serious way. I'd always joked about it. I always made a joke of it. As I started to share, I really didn't know what to say. I started to talk about the people that I'd hurt. I started to discuss how much I didn't have control. And as I shared this feeling came over me of this enormous relief. I had finally admitted to myself that I could not control everything anymore. I had finally let go of that weight. It felt like such a relief. But now what was I going to do? I have heard about these steps. I've heard about this system that people use, but what if I do it wrong? My biggest fear is now that I have admitted what I truly am, how am I going to overcome this? As I've heard some of you share, I think the same thing. I've never done this before. I'm in an uncomfortable situation. I don't know how to handle this. I don't have enough experience. What if I mess this up? I mean, I'm at my last chance. My wife had just said, look, you're out. You are out. Unless you change some things. Control what you can control. Accept what you can't control. One of my favorite prayers is the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as the pathway to peace. When I admitted that I was an alcoholic, I finally felt a little bit of peace. This is my family. This is my wife, Lindsay. My oldest daughter, Lainey. Sally and Molly. You see a difference? Control what you can control. Another part of this system that I started to work was getting some thoughts out of my head, so I started to write down things. I started to write down all kinds of thoughts. And it started to hit me, in order to accomplish anything, I must write down something. To accomplish anything, you must write down something, because this disease is impossible to overcome. There's no way that I can go through a day without having a drink. It's impossible. There's no way that I can build a business where we have an event that's based in accounting. That's impossible. You can't start to reach people. You can't start to touch people on a personal level. That's impossible. You're just an accountant. To accomplish anything, you must write down something. One of my mentors has a saying that I use this a lot. What you think is what you say is what you do, and what you do creates your legacy. It starts with what's here. It starts with what you're thinking. What you think is what you say. What you say is what you do. What you do creates your legacy. Now, after getting sober in 2018, I started to change a bunch. My friends started changing. People around me started changing. My family basically would not talk to me for about 2 years because they didn't know who I was anymore. They were used to the drunk. Not only drinking alcohol, but also the drunk on himself, drunk on his ego. When I was in that room for the first time, I finally started emptying out so much that I had filled up in me, my ego, what I knew best. I was able to dump all that out on the table. And every week that I go back, I'm able to dump even more out every single time. And as I did that, I became this different person as I started to be around different people. And so at the time, my business partner, we didn't see eye to eye anymore. And one day when I was in Disney World, of all places, I basically just had enough. I said, man, you're out. We can't do this anymore. I had no idea the repercussions of that decision and how quickly what I thought was a successful business burned down to the ground. I had a certain direction that I wanted to go. He had a certain direction he wanted to go. It just didn't work. We had 42 people working with us. One person quit almost every single week for about 20 weeks straight. Every Sunday, somebody quit. We lost 739 clients. I had just gotten sober. My life's going back on track, and now business is tearing down. A lot of times your personal life will be reflected in your business. It has happened to me every single time. And as you start to look inward, as you start to improve things personally, it's amazing what happens in your business after that. So at the end of 2019, I'm on a spring break, fall break trip with my family. I'm in Chicago. And I'll never forget it. I'm looking up, shooting a story at Trump Tower, and a guy named Ryan Dunn is following me on Instagram. And he said, hey, I see that you're in Chicago. I want you to meet my boss. That guy was Paul Croft. That same weekend, I had to let go of my best friend. He was working with me, started lying to me. I was completely alone. And so, in the same time where I felt the most alone, I had this new opportunity. This new opportunity to have a business partnership with Paul Croft. Now, the first time that I met Paul after that, this is a great picture of our partnership. Croft and Frost. Croft, anything is possible. Frost will make it happen. So the first time that I met Paul Croft, I'm up in Chicago. We're at his apartment complex, condo complex, and there's a basketball goal, like a full court basketball. Paul's like, hey, you want to shoot around, And I'm like, okay. Like I'm in, dress pants and a suit and button down. And I'm like, sure. And Paul grabs the ball. Like the goal is over there. He's about half court. He goes, hook shot. Barely hits the backboard. I'm like, what is going on here? Did you think you would actually make that shot? You actually believe that you're going to make that shot? And he's laughing and everything, and he's like, you shoot one. So I get the ball. I dribble over to about, like a normal range. And, swish. That's our partnership. That's what Croft and Frost is all about. Paul is going to believe that he's going to make that hook shot every single time from half court. Every time. And you will never make that hook shot from half court if you don't try it. 100% of the time, you will not make it unless you try it. Now, me on the other hand, I'm going to kind of, go a little bit closer. Let's take this step by step because that's what's worked for me. So at Croft & Frost, we help you to build courage and create wealth. Build courage and create wealth. And just like when I walked into that room for the first time, there's a certain way of going about that. There's a certain system that we use in order to do it because we know that in the ebbs and flows of life, in the ebbs and flows of business, whenever we start something new, whenever we start a new venture, we don't know if it's going to work all the time, and some days it works and some days it doesn't. But what is the system that's going to help us to make that happen? So in order to build a system, you have to have some simple instructions. So let's do this real quick. Everybody stand up real quick if you don't mind. We're going to build a little system here. Utilizing what we do at Croft & Frost. It's build courage and create wealth, and our guarantee is we're going to change the way you think. So when I say build courage, you're going to clap once. Build courage. Awesome. When I say create wealth, you're going to clap twice. Create wealth. Now when I say change the way you think, you're going to clap 3 times. Change the way you think. Awesome. We built a system. Simple instructions. Clear instructions. Now let's do it all together. Build courage. Create wealth. Change the way you think. All right, you can sit down. Nice. So we build courage and create wealth through what we call the 4 foundations of wealth creation. The 4 foundations of wealth creation are, does anybody know the first one? Increase your recurring monthly income. Exactly. What's the second one? Anybody know the second one? Save money on taxes. Save money on taxes, because if you got income, you got tax problem. You got to save money on taxes. Third is protect your income through tax-free wealth. And fourth is invest in yourself and others. Invest in yourself and others. And as you invest in yourself and others, what's worked for us, what's worked for me is the more people that we get around, the more new faces that we meet, the more numbers that I got in my phone, the higher probability I have of increasing my recurring monthly income. Would you agree with that? Every single time I come around new people, I have a new network, we have the ability to make a connection, help one another, and our income will grow. Not only will our income grow, our relationship capital will grow. Which people have the money that you need. People have the wealth that you need. People have the knowledge that you need. So no matter what, wealth is not always defined by how much money you got in your bank account. Just like Itzler was talking about, it's a lot more than that. Man, I would much rather meet spiritual billionaires every single day than billionaires with $1 billion worth of money in their bank. So the 4 foundations of wealth creation is how we help people build courage and create wealth. That's how you can help yourself build courage and create wealth. Now, most people don't realize this. I've always talked about accounting. And typically, when I'm meeting with a client, I like to let them know that accounting is really 90% psychology and 10% accounting. Numbers. Math. Because no matter what, wealth is truly defined by you and what you think. How you define wealth. It's important to recognize exactly what that is. Now, whenever I have heard a lot of our clients talking about wealth, they typically say that wealth is freedom. In order to have wealth, you actually have financial freedom. Would anybody agree with that? Who in here wants financial freedom? All right. Yes. So financial freedom is actually already attainable. Financial freedom is just freedom from your finances. Spiritually, emotionally, and physically. You have financial freedom if you can disassociate yourself with the way that you feel, comparatively speaking, to how much money is in your bank account, or how much money you just have to deploy, or how much money that you have to invest. Financial freedom is right here, right now. We have it. Money is just a tool. Now, that is not an easy concept to just implement just like that. That takes a lot of time. Very similarly to the fact that it is taking a lot of time and effort and work and repetitiveness in my life for me to stay sober each and every day. I got to do the same things over and over and over and over again, which is what's hitting me more now than ever, is how much wealth we create when we do consistent things on a daily basis over and over and over again. So financial freedom, freedom from your finances, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. My business coach, Dan Osley, says that discipline equals freedom. Anybody agree with that? Discipline equals freedom at all? So how do I create discipline? How do I implement discipline into my life? I believe in order to implement discipline into your life, because this is what has worked for me, is that you got to build a system. Once you have a system and you start to work that system and you know the steps of that system, then you start to create discipline. Once you have discipline, that discipline will turn into a habit. Now, there's a lot of opinions out there about how long does it take to form a habit. Who believes that they know how long it takes to form a habit? 28 days? 30? 30? As soon as you what? As soon as you make up your mind. Somebody said 2 days? 17 days? Right. Lots of opinions there, right? You will figure out how long it will take for you to develop a habit when you don't have to think about it anymore. When you get through the day and you go, golly, I can't believe that I missed that. That made my day differently. I mean, different. Because I didn't do the thing that I've been doing for so long. Now I feel different at the end of the day because I didn't do it. Now you got to have it. Once you have that habit, then you're going to have the confidence. And once you have the confidence, then you have the courage. That's how we build courage. How I build the courage to make financial decisions of sending $1 million somewhere that I don't even know who that is, or buy a building in a location of where I've never been before, nor seen the building before, but we own it. That takes a lot of courage. So, when we have that system and we can develop that habit, now we've got the confidence. Now we've got the courage. What system is that? What system is going to help us to have this courage to not only make decisions that we've never made before, but maintain them the whole way? Because, as I was saying at the very beginning, when you are letting go of control, when you're in that place where you're finally able to let go, it is scary as hell to let go. Who in here feels like they've ever truly let go of control? It is scary, but it is the place where you will find ultimate freedom. And I want to show you exactly how you can find that, because it's worked. It's worked for me. Now, this system starts with this idea of day one. You see it on my shirt. Day one. Day one is a mindset. Day one is daily reminders, daily actions, and daily accountability. You've got to have these reminders, actions, and accountability on a consistent basis in order to accomplish these things that you think might be impossible, that you've never been able to accomplish, that allow you to let go. Because I can control what I'm thinking about. I can control my thoughts. Your mind, actually, you cannot think two things at the same time. You can only think one thought at a time. So this idea of day one, and I want to show you how easy it is. So day one is a mindset. Day one is something that you want to say, repeat in any situation. So, if you have a good thing happen, or you have a challenging thing happen, or you have an instance, a situation that you've never been into before, after you talk about that, you simply say, day one. Day one. So does anybody have a situation that they like to share? Or something good that's happening, or something that you're scared of that you want to say? Do we have a microphone? Sean? 69 days sober today. Congratulations, dude. That's unbelievable. All right, hold on. Stand up. So we're going to do a little thing here that I'm super excited about, okay? So, now, look, we might be a little uncoordinated together. I'll blame it on me, okay? So, we're going to slap like this. Day one.
Day one.
So tell me that again.
69 days sober today.
Day one. That a baby. Let me see it. Nice job, nice job. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else got anything they want to share? This is how you get the mindset of day one.
During COVID, I decided to turn my health around, and I figured it could start with running in my backyard, just doing laps. And that was the first day. I could only do maybe 5 that day, but every day after that, I increased it, just one more day, and I haven't stopped since.
Day one. So, with us being here, anybody else got something they want to share? Oh, Harry Garcia, I love it.
I wasn't able to work out with my physical condition, but I just started working out, and I feel excited. It's day one.
Day one. Boom. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
My name is Walter. Since this conference today, I feel a lot more encouraged.
Day one. Boom. So at our office, we'll be walking through, we'll be talking, and I'll be talking about the fact that we have another client that is pissed off. They're upset. They didn't get things handled. We didn't handle it for them. They didn't get the answer that they wanted. Day one. We got to keep that mindset. Every day is day one. Every day is a new beginning. No matter what. Whether something good happened or something bad happened, this mindset of day one will help you to overcome The thought of everything's impossible. We can't do this. There's no way this is going to work. Every day is day one. That's something you have complete control over. Second thing, the daily 5. Daily 5 is 5 actions that you can do each day that you determine that'll be the foundation for your day. For me, those 5 things are beating the sun up, my morning devotional, working out, training, and the daily ledger. Those 5 things. So as long as I keep this mindset of day 1, and I'm doing my daily 5, I've got the ability to be able to take those risks. Do the things that are uncomfortable. Walk into the room that I've never been in before and admit who I really am. The third thing is the daily ledger. The daily ledger is this journal right here. I started writing my goals down twice a day in 2019, right before I met Paul. Right before Croft and Frost really got started, I was writing my goals down twice a day. This daily ledger is how I get my thoughts out onto paper on a daily basis. We write down what we're grateful for. We write down what is going to make today great. We write down daily actions, targets. I write down the people that are in my power base. Affirmations, if you were here at the mastermind last night, and goals. All of those are done every single day. So, when I'm in a situation in which I am worried, concerned, I can't let go, I'm losing control, I feel like I don't have any control at all over what's going on, I will go back to my affirmations every single time. Affirmations change the way you think. Literally, it is a physical thing that happens in your brain that causes you to change what is going on inside. And it's something that you have complete control over to stop your day and write down what your affirmations are. And to remind yourself that it's good. I love that what Rocky was talking about this morning, where he said to remind yourself afterwards to say, and it is good, and it is good. So an affirmation might be one that I write down. It's one of my favorite ones. I am a savvy business owner that can navigate the waters of both ideal and difficult business climates. And it is good. One that I'm starting to write down today is I am an asset, and it is good. Affirmations are so powerful. They'll change your life immediately. My mentor, my favorite mentor, John Maxwell says, in order to change your life, you must change your daily routine. That's the first way to change your life. And the simplest way to do it, and our team, they get so irritated with me talking about this, but if you want to change your life, get in a cold shower every day. You don't have to stay in there for long. 30 seconds at the end. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. There are simple things that you can do. We all want to make these changes. We all want to have that business, to have the side businesses, to start these other things. Is it too many? Is it not? I don't know, and it really doesn't matter, but I know for sure I've got a lot of things going on in my life, and this system works. It frickin' works. It's unbelievable. It blows my mind how well it works. And it's not because I came up with it. It's because along the way we pick up things like what Rocky said today about the affirmations. Add on there, and it is good. Man, if I'm telling myself that it is good 10 times a day, man, I'm telling you there's a lot that's possible. Final thing I want to say is this. I read this book by, just slipped my mind, doesn't matter. Better awareness, better choices, better results. That's the main takeaway I had from that book. And I'll remember it here in a minute. The more awareness that we have, the better choices we can make, the better results we will get on a daily basis. And in order to have awareness, we have to ask people around us and be willing to receive, what do I need to do differently? What do you see that I am not seeing? Putting ourselves in rooms like this brings awareness to our lives. Maybe I need to think a little bit differently. Maybe I am thinking correctly. Maybe there's a lot more people that are just as nuts as I am, trying to do so many different things and figuring it out along the way. We're never going to arrive. We are never going to finish the journey. It is the journey. And this system of day one, admitting to ourselves that every day is day one, helps you to last in the journey. Because that journey is going to be up and down and all around. And you are going to fall way more, at least for me, I fall way more than I do. I fall way, way more. It's frustrating. I'm freaking tired of it. But you know what? I'm ultimately in control of it. Because I'm the one that's saying yes to all this stuff. But I do it because I know I've got a system that helps me through it. So the better awareness that we have, the better choices we make, the better results that we get. The choices. We have the choice. Grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. The courage to change the things I can. I know that I've got courage because I've got the daily system that I'm working every day. I can make the courageous decision that's going to help me get what I want. So what do you want? What are you going to do differently in order to get better results? What choice are you going to make today in order to change your life? Because you have the power to do that. You can do it just by changing your daily routine. Just by changing one thing at a time. One little moment different will change your life. Now remember, every day is day one. Thank you.